Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Sammy Ketchum, and welcome back to Sammy Ketchum TCG. Today, we are going to be taking a look at one of the newest decks coming out of the black and white set. We're going to be talking about Miraidon. Alright? Miraidon is going to be back for the black and white set because we've got some brand new cards that are going to work with Miraidon to make Miraidon better. Alright? We're going to take an old deck, well, an old dog, and teach us some new tricks. Well, Miraidon's not a dog, Miraidon's a dragon. We're going to teach this dragon some new tricks. But without further ado, we're going to jump right into it and talk about this deck profile of Miraidon for the black and white set. Well, Black Bolt and White Flare. Two copies of Miraidon, alright? Miraidon has this fantastic ability, Tandem Unit. It lets you search out 2 lightning type basic Pokemon and you can put them straight away onto your bench. Then you shuffle your deck afterwards. Fantastic ability. It's basically a Buddy Poffin or Battle VIP Pass all rolled into one for electric type basic Pokemon. Gets the game started, get your setup going. You can't go wrong with this. Also, his attack for lightning colorless for 220 isn't bad either. You know? Two copies of Iron Hands. Alright. Iron Hands is in here because we use the Amp You Very Much attack. If you knock out a Pokemon with that attack, you could take 1 extra prize card. Alright? So, that attack alone is very, very good. Being able to take extra prizes is amazing. You know. So, it's going to be basically one of our first attackers in the deck. You know, moving forward. Against all the Dragapults, the Guardies, the Grimmsnarls, all the baby Pokemon, before they get evolved up, Iron Hands is going to wreak havoc on them. One copy of Mew EX. Mew EX is in here for its free retreat. Also, it has its ability, Restart. Draw until you have up to 3 cards in your hand. Most of the time, you're going to be getting prizes and knocking your opponent out. They're going to try to Iona you, unfair stamp you, whatever, and you're gonna have a low hand size. When you get down to your low hand size, you know, with under 3 cards in your hand, this is going to help you to get, you know, this is going to help you to try to get, you know, try to come back, get cards in your hand, you know, get playable stuff, things you could do. This will definitely help. Copy of Pheasantipity EX. Alright. It's in here for its ability. When one of your Pokemon gets knocked out by an attack. Or not by an attack, but when they get knocked out during your opponent's turn. Excuse me. Alright. On your next turn, you could draw up to 3 cards. So drawing extra cards, very good. Help you, you know, get your strategy going. Help you to win the game more. Copy of Latias EX. All basic Pokemon have free retreat. Plain and simple. Blood Moon Ursaluna. Late game attacker. The attacks of his Blood Moon cost go down by the number of prizes your opponent has taken. So like if they've taken 3 prizes, then he would only need 2 energies. If they've taken 4 prizes, he only needs 1 energy for his Blood Moon attack. If they've taken 5 prizes, he attacks for free. It's so good as a late game attacker, and it is amazing. I like in any deck like this, like Miraidon, that could use a late game attacker, and you don't have access to like your Zekrom or your other attackers, this in a pinch can get you there. Can get you your last 2 prizes, 1 prize, whatever. This can get you there. So this will always be a part of this deck. It was a part of my last Miraidon deck, and it's a part of this one. 1 copy of Squawkabilly EX. I know I've seen some people play 2 Squawkabilly, but 1 Squawkabilly, I just think it's fine. You know, you're not going to use it every single game. You're not going to start with it every single game. Just boom, squawk, boom, go in. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you won't need to do that. But at the times that you need to do it, that you need to see it, he's going to be there. Discard your hand, draw 6 cards. Alright, and now for the new Pokemon from Black Bolt. 2 copies of Zekrom GX. Alright, 2 copies of Zekrom GX. This deck, this version, will play 2 copies. This is a backwards card. I don't have another Zekrom or another Japanese Zekrom. So, but but this is gonna have 2 Zekrom GXs. But I have this one for reference. Its first attack does 30 damage. Nothing crazy. But its second attack, for 3 energy, it does 130 damage, right? But if you discard the energies from this Pokemon, he will do... Oh, no. You don't have to discard the energy. Excuse me. 130 damage. Alright? If you're... I'm trying to figure out how to say this. Basically, 130 damage, but this attack does, what, 50 more? 60 more? 50 more. Alright, 130 damage, but this attack does 50 more damage for each prize card your opponent has taken. So, you know, if they've taken 3 prize cards, I think that's 280. If they've taken 4 prize cards, that's like 330. So 4 prize cards, 330. 5 prize cards, you're killing everything. So, you know, but we've got ways to basically make your opponent take prizes so that his attack can get stronger. He's basically like an electric form. He's basically like a lightning Charizard, if that makes any sense. Because Charizard's attack kind of does the same thing based on how many prizes your opponent has taken. This same thing, except it's 50 more, not 30 more. And he's already doing 130. So that's not bad at all. A great late game attacker from Miraidon. This deck will play a 2-2 line of Magneton. Alright? Magneton has this great ability. Yeah. Overvolt Discharge. I love that name. Overvolt Discharge. Alright? So basically what you do is you knock him out. You give your opponent a prize. And you can search your discard pile for up to 3 energies. up to 3 energies of any type and attach them to your lightning Pokemon or your electric Pokemon. So you can power this guy up in one go after knocking him out. Something like Zeraora, which we'll get to in a second, power him up in one go. Power Miraidon up in one go. Power Iron Hands up in one go. Just about, and get him going. So, you know, but really he's in here to work with the Zekrom. If you're giving your opponents prizes, you give them enough prizes so that you could basically hit big with this. So these two work together, all right? But Magneton can also be used to power up your other attackers as well. So just keep that in mind. It's not just for him. It can be for your other attackers too. So like I said before, one copy of Zeraora. I think this is in the... This is from Destined Rivals. So we can play with this now, but it's not that good because Miraidon isn't good right now. But Miraidon is good in the black and white set. But this is from Destined Rivals. So first attack is Scratch for 20. That does nothing. But his second attack, Thunder Raid. Oh, I like that. I like that. Thunder Raid. Okay. Lightning Colorless. Alright. You can do 210 damage to a Pokemon EX on your opponent's board. So you can just do a straight 210 to one of your opponent's Pokemon EXs. Active or on the bench. The reason why this is good is because you can go after things like Pheasantipity EX, Squawkabilly EX, Mew EX, Clefairy EX. Anything that's a basic EX Pokemon, this can basically target down and hit them. Now, you can't go after Terra Pokemon because Terra Pokemon have their own basic rule that prevents bench damage. And then Shaman protects all of the non-EX Pokemon. So all the non-EX Pokemon, Shaman protects. But Shaman does not protect the EX Pokemon. Since it does not protect the EX Pokemon, Zeraora can wreak havoc. 210 damage. You knock out a Fez. You knock out a Mew. Like, it's so good. It's so good. Like, just for that reason, he's in here. Also, Magneton can also help power him up in a pinch, like I said before. Also, you got generators in here too, so... Few copies of Arven. Arven to help you find your generators and some of your tools. You know, nest balls, switches, prime catcher, you know. Three copies of Boss's Orders. Self-explanatory. Right now we're at 2 copies of Professor's Research. This might go down to 1 copy because I might take one out for a Carmine, which we're going to talk about in a second. I mean, Research is just a great draw card. Discard, draw 7. 2 copies of Iono. Alright? I'm weird. I play Disruption in my Miraidon deck. Yes, I do. I did it in my last Miraidon deck. I'll do it in this one. It is so important to have a little bit of disruption. It's even in a fast deck like this, because even if you're fast and you're KOing your opponent, there are going to be times, a lot of times, where you kind of, well, you don't like, where you kind of run out of steam. And not just run out of steam, it's just like you're hitting your opponent head on, but then they may be able to mount an attack back against you. And if they start making a comeback, and if they got, and you know they're coming off one of their turns where they only need like 2 or 3 prizes to take the game, and they have a big hand, you want to be able to Iono them to like 2 or 3 cards, to where they don't have such a big hand, to where they can't go for game on their next turn. And that will kind of like help you, give you an extra turn to possibly just win the game. Because sometimes your aggression will run out, and you'll have to Iono. You have to Iono them and stop them from trying to win the game against you. And then you pick back up the aggression on your next turn to take your last prizes. So this is very, very important to have in this deck. At least I think, on my part. I'm carrying 2 Ionos all the time in my Miraidon list. These were also in my Joltik box deck as well. Right now we have 2 copies of Carmine. This might go up to 3. This card says if you open this card and you go first, you could play this card in your first turn. Discard your hand and draw 5 cards. So if you're going first, which this deck might have to do, you know, you get to go Carmine, discard your hand, draw 5, especially if it's not a decent hand. Then you can also find Squawkabilly, use Squawkabilly's ability, discard your hand, draw 6 more. You're just going to turbo through your deck in the beginning of the game. So I might just go ahead and bump this up to 3 and take out one of the researchers. So for the beginning of the game, I think this is important. Four copies of Electric Generator. We all know what this does. Copies of Nest Ball. Three copies of Ultra Ball. One Night Stretcher. One Switch. One Prime Catcher. One Super Rod. One Bravery Charm. New card from the set, Air Balloon. Well, really old card. The retreat cost of the Pokemon this is attached to is 2 less. So stick this on something, give it free retreat. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14? Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Ooh, wait, no. Wait, there's supposed to be 16 energies. But it's 16 energy. 16 energy. 16 energy. Oh, yeah, so 16 energy. 16 lightning energy. We're going to have 16 lightning energy. But yeah, 16 lightning energy. That's what we're going to have. Something is off. I don't know what's off. but I'll have to figure it out. I will have to figure it out what's off. But I will figure it out. But just to mention, like I said before, that this version had the magnetons in it. There's another version that has the eelectriks from what is it? Black I can't think of it. Black Bolt. But there's another version of this deck that I might play that has a 2/2 line of eelectrik. And this is an old card that they brought back in black and white that has the ability Dynamotor. What Dynamotor does is that Dynamotor, once during your turn, you may attach a basic lightning energy from your discard pile to one of your bench electric Pokemon. Or one of your bench Pokemon. So, having one of these down or two of these down, you can potentially get up to 1 to 2 energies from your discard pile every single turn, powering up your Pokemon. And that's very good. You needed something like this to power up your Pokemon. You know what I'm saying? Power up the Zeraora, power up the Zekrom. You know what I mean? Iron Hands, I guess you could use the power up Iron Hands, then hit a generator, and then attack for the turn. You know what I mean? So, something like that. You know, but 2 copies of this will go in here. And then the magneton line will go down to a 1/1. The magneton line will go down to a 1/1 line. But that's the other version of this. But it is 16 energy. I think I made a miscalculation or something somewhere. But we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. But it's supposed to be 16 energy. Anyway, guys, that is the video. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, make sure you take care of yourself and each other. Thank you.